Welcome back after a short break project. Imagine that you wake up in the morning and everything is like every day. You hear the grandma's clock on the wall, tick tock, tick tock, and outside the windows there are birds that are singing, like here. And there's one exception. On the table you see welcome wreath or flowers with a message. Welcome back. Or maybe you live in the big city. You wake up, you shut your alarm clock, you go to the bathroom to shave your face or maybe make a makeup, and you see on the mirror something is blue. The message card with the message welcome back. And on that very moment you know that you don't have to go to work. And not because it's a Sunday, because it's the future now. I'm sure that we will be able to recreate you in the future in any scenario you wish. Maybe like this one. My favorite one is the beach on the lake in the wood, but not this one. But you can choose any other scenario. What is important, we will recreate you. You'll be back. You may think it's fantasy, it's science fiction. That in 2018. Yep, now someone is coming here. Animal or human. It was probably some middle-sized animal, but I'm not sure which one exactly because there are many footprints in the snow. I think that you're not be happy watching me half an hour talking, so I suggest it will be better I show you woods and lakes near my location and surroundings. Sorry folks, but that is how $0 DIY marketing works, and if you invest in this product, next time movie and marketing materials will be much better. I promise.
And I mentioned that it is not fantasy. Not in 2018. Because now, the largest and richest companies in the world are working on similar projects. For example, Google's longevity spin-off company Calico. It's a short for California Life Company. They were established in 2013 to tackle aging and age-related disease. And Google has backed right Kurzweil Singularity University since 2008. And now, the futurist is even on the books of the tech giant. And the co-founder of the university, Peter Diamandis, is also at the helm of Human Longevity Incorporation, which aims to build the world's largest database of human genotypes. They train computers to use the information to fight age-related diseases. And Mark Zuckerberg and his wife, Priscilla Chan, a pediatrician, have pledged $3 billion, $3 billion, to fund medical research over the next decade. And the goal is to cure, prevent, or manage all diseases by the end of the century. You got it? All diseases. And the first step in their ambitious plan is the BioHub, a $600 million research hub that will bring together biologists, chemists, computer scientists, and engineers to work on projects, including research into infectious diseases. The Facebook chief executive isn't the first of the super wealthy to branch to health. Bill Gates' Microsoft announced that it wants to end cancer using artificial intelligence. So pursuit for longevity has a long history and probably a bright future. And there is something that mentioned projects have in common. They do not offer immortality yet. So, welcome back is about delivering you services that Google, Facebook, Elon Musk are not able to deliver yet. Although they're working on that tirelessly. And maybe they will be able to offer those services, but for people born in 21st century. But I'm not so optimistic to assume they will be able to help us. To help forgotten people born before year 2000. And Welcome Back is here to fill that gap. To offer efficient immortality and not for each other. Pharaohs in ancient Egypt had a simple recipe for immortality. Building a slave in shape of the pyramid, then embalming body, heart, and wait for the afterlife. You know, this pyramid is full of traps, doors, and so on, so it guards the body quite well. And it worked somehow, but not in the way the Egyptians dreamed of. Now we can reconstruct them in 3D, and we know about their history, about their families, about the wars, but their souls are gone. In many religions, for example in a religion which is very popular here where I live, in Christianity, but also in other religions, the afterlife exists for everyone, without the need of spending money for expensive tombs. But there's some difference. You are a good guy, you go to the heaven. You are a bad guy, you go to the hell. There's tortures, it's not pleasant, and heaven is very pleasant when you're happy all time long until infinity. But with this kind of immortality, we are not able to verify claims of priests. In recent time, we have more and more options and promises on immortality, so I will talk a bit about them now. First option is cryonics. It's most popular. You probably heard about that. Cryonics is deep freezing of human bodies at moment of death for preservation and possible revival in the future. Often, only the brain is frozen, only the head, for economical reasons. It's cheaper to freeze only the brain, not whole body. People hope that they will be restored when new technology will be developed in the future. About 500 people have been cryogenically preserved worldwide. Now, there are 3 companies in the United States that offer cryopreservation. It's Cryonics Institute, Alcor, and American Cryonics Society. And we have CryoRus in Russia. This one is the cheapest one. Problem with cryonics is that we don't have yet technology that enable mentioned companies to revive customers. We have to wait until restoration to full health is possible in the future. And the cryonics is quite expensive. Full body freezing cost is between $36,000 and $200,000, depending on the company. In fact, the process is not freezing, it's called vitrification. There is no ice formation that destroys your cells. There is no ice damage. And when you see at something which is vitrified, it looks like something immersed in the gel, not like the frozen stuff. And to make freezing efficient, companies need access to body as quick as possible after death. This is why some companies are interested in creation of cryostorage facilities in Switzerland or in other countries where euthanasia is allowed. And in case of cryonics, we have no copy. We have just one body. So when any accident arrives, the immortality, the being, is gone. Another solution is DNA preservation. Companies offering DNA preservation are not usually considered as immortality business, but they offer services that could be used later for cloning purposes. To put it simply, they will be able to recreate copy of you, but body only, not a mind. Some companies, as Illumina and Google Genomics, offer just sequencing of your DNA and storage of digital copy of information. Some, as 25, offer preserving your organic DNA in a cold warehouse. Costs vary from $400 for storage in underground vault to $4,000 initial fee for digital copy of DNA and then for storing it. Problem with this solution is that we cannot store minds, we cannot store memories, and our souls are gone. The next one is mind uploading, whole brain emulation. Scanning a brain and then uploading it into a computer is not possible yet, so no company offers such form of immortality. But research groups are working on that heavily to make it feasible in near future. There is Google Brain when writes Kurzweil, an inventor and expert in artificial intelligence, who is one of prominent researchers. Google's Brain project's official goal is not, by the way, uploading. But as we know that Kurzweil is very, very interested in consciousness of artificial intelligence and immortality, we can assume that he will work on possible solutions. A company of Elon Musk, manufacturer of Tesla cars. This new company of Musk, Neuralink, is developing ultra-high bandwidth brain-machine interfaces to connect humans to computers. So it's pretty close to brain uploading. There are others. There is Swiss Blue Brain project, Human Brain project. Brain is rather complex structure, so we are not much closer to full emulation than we were 10 years ago, but we can see progress. A good idea is what company Neurokernel tried to do. They tried to emulate the fruit fly brain. You know the fruit fly. This is a species, small insect used very often by researchers because it's simple. But they cannot emulate full brain of fruit fly yet. Shortly, mind uploading is not possible yet and will not be ready to commercialize it by a few next dozen years, I think. I am not optimistic. Another solution is life extension. Extending the human lifespan, that is what Facebook creator Mark Zuckerberg wants to do. Charles Zuckerberg's initiative goal is to cure all diseases using advanced tools and engineering breakthroughs. They want it happened by the end of the century. And there are much more companies that are working in this branch. From manufacturing of drugs, supplements and hormones, to gene therapy, to, even, injection of blood products from young donors. For example, Human Longevity. A very interesting company, you can Google it. They have created the world's largest database of sequences, genomes, and phenotypic, physical traits, data, to uncover unprecedented insight capable of transforming healthcare from reactive to proactive. As we are now able to slow down the process of aging, we cannot reverse it or stop it. Although in 2015, Elizabeth Parrish, CEO of company BioViva, treated herself using gene therapy with the goal of not just halting but reversing aging. She has since reported feeling more energetic, but long-term study of the treatment is ongoing. So if you need immortality from now on, this approach does not work yet, and there is no clue that it will work in near future. There are long-living animals, let's call them immortal, like Hydra. A simple animal that can revitalize itself with a fresh supply of cells. But most of species need death to develop themselves as a species. Rule is simple here. If given species do not evolve and don't make itself better fit to an environment, it is killed or pushed out to less profitable environment by neighbor competing species. So individuals die to give ground to new ones, younger, with changed DNA. And some of those new ones are better adapted to environment. They're fighting better, can eat another food, have better brains, and so on. It's natural selection. We are designed to die because it was profitable for us. Yes, dying was profitable for us as a species. And I think the problem is our whole design and not some individual genes, telomeres. Without redesigning ourselves, we will not find solution for immortality. It would be too simple and too miraculous. But I could be wrong, we'll see. We'll keep trying because we don't need to be mortal anymore. Now we can be winners thanks to our technology. Some years ago we started to change our bodies, consider heart transplantations. Many people live longer thanks to this standard procedure. So, as you can see, I'm not super hyper optimistic here. It's hard to believe that any miraculous drugs that substantially prolong your life will be invented in the next 50 years. And you know that brain is complex stuff, so it wouldn't be mind uploading before 2100. As for cryonics, the largest structure that they frozen without any visible changes in structure was rabbit brain. But they froze it, unfrozen, check on the Microsoft, they didn't revitalize it after this experiment. So whole human freezing is still a challenge, and you cannot expect they will find a way to do it perfectly tomorrow. Okay, now something about me. From about 5 years, I've been working for world's largest IT companies on advertisement and search engine markets. According to contracts, I cannot disclose their names here. I supply them with data that they use to make their artificial intelligence better and better. I'm not an engineer nor IT guy. I just provide them with human judgment. It's called data annotation. Most of us deliver data for machines and for free, just by using computers, internet, smartphones. On January this year, Google unveiled Cloud Auto ML, which is aimed at helping businesses to start building their own high-quality custom artificial intelligence models using advanced techniques. It's only for image recognition, and good thing is that you don't have to be IT guy to use it. There are other artificial intelligence tools designed for non-IT professionals. For example, H2O, I like this one. So, artificial intelligence is not field reserved for narrow elite anymore. It's not much more complex, using this, than using your most favorite office suite. All mathematics is inside, you don't have to think about. You just choose algorithm and some options. You provide data and wait for results. Of course, more complex tasks you need to be solved, more data and effort for model building is required. And machines still can answer only relatively simple questions. For one hand, as kind of insider, I see that the progress in this field is not astonishing. Artificial intelligence as academic discipline is more than 50 years old. And now, last year and probably this year, we have another wave of optimism in this area. More news in media, more smart business people that sell their stuff as software containing artificial intelligence. But this is rather more advanced marketing than any real breakthrough in the field. But it's true that machine learning is more widely available for blind people like me and you. And no, I'm not disappointed with the progress in artificial intelligence. I see constant movement forward, and I'm patient. But to obtain real artificial intelligence, we have to change the way we are working on that. Don't you think that it would be better to grow it? Instead of try to program machines better and better, find new algorithms and heuristics to use them? Because it is how we are doing it now. We are programming, we are finding new algorithms. Let's just grow it. Let's artificial intelligence grow and live it, and leave it alone. Sooner or later, machines will start to think and to communicate each other. And there is no way back. Machines will surpass us at most tasks, thinking included. So why not to help machines to communicate and develop themselves? Introduce standards in machine learning that will enable machines to communicate each other. Just some space, communication channels and processors free to use by machines. Some incentives, seats maybe, and so on. And then constantly asking them some simple questions. And wait and try to spot some sign. Like SETI does it. You know what is SETI? It's search for extraterrestrial intelligence. They monitoring space, searching for signs of transmissions from alien civilization. We can do similar, just by giving machines space, time and chaos, and listen for the sign. It could be something like evolutionary computation, but without any master, without any idea in mind that controls the system. Each time I screen again book of George Dyson, it's called Darwin Among the Machines, same thought arrives to me. We cannot design real artificial intelligence. It will emerge from chaos and abundance of free computing power. Problem is now computing power is still very expensive, and companies that have sufficient resources will not invest in fundamental research. They prefer to use their computing power to mine bitcoins, for example. But from the other hand, a pioneer in artificial life, Niels Baricelli, was very independent researcher. Please Google his name, he was genius. He was doing miracles with his computer in 50s, it's 70 years ago. Many people are afraid of artificial intelligence. They talking and thinking about nightmare scenario, like on Terminator movies. Okay, so let's grow it on Mars. We cannot live there without complex devices. Frankly, we don't need that planet. Let's give Mars to artificial intelligence, to machines and robots, and in the future, we are going to help each other. Why am I talking about artificial intelligence? Because it's crucial to the idea. We need artificial intelligence, but luckily, it's not important if real intelligence arrives in 100, 1000 or 10,000 years. Artificial intelligence will arrive someday, and that is sufficient for us. So what am I planning to do? We will recreate you in the future, whole you, your mind and body, and you will be back here. To recreate you, we need now just very good data about you and way to secure it by a long period of time. In fact, it will be a very long period of time, I think. And you will be immortal, but after a short or longer break. You will not even notice that you were not exist by some period. How it will be possible? Let me show you a simple example. I have a robot toy. Let's call him Ray. He looks like this. He's a simple being. We can make him immortal by freezing him. I think that with robot it will work even now. We can do reverse engineering, disassemble him, see what he consists of, how he works. No problem at all, right? We can replace parts when needed, like we exchange hearts, kidneys, arms at humans. We can steal plants from the factory and recreate him after 1,000 years. But their solution will not work with humans. So what will work? Assuming that the robot consists only of appearance and movement, we can recreate Ray even now. Look and movement are only features of Ray in this example. So, I have photo of Ray. Of course, I can have more if I need to recreate the robot's appearance in details. And smart guy with 3D printer can make Ray's body based on pictures only. Time consuming, but not very difficult. How about second feature? Movement. I programmed Ray to move this way. One movement forward, turn right. One movement forward, turn right. And one movement forward, turn right. And so on and so on. Yes, he's programmed to draw a square. It's a Ray's whole life. In reality shape, he draws it's not a square. He's not perfect, as you see. Next step is registering part of his life on movie. A few minutes only. Then I load movie to organized video tracking software. One I use is called ToxTrack, but they're different on the market. Software tracks movement and output is data, X and Y coordinates. Then I load data in machine learning software. I tried with H2O software, which works very well with classification tasks, but seems to have a problem with prediction of time series. It didn't work so well, so I used simple online tool that provides ARIMA forecasting. They use it for financial purposes. Problem is that this ARIMA simple online tool allows to predict only 24 steps. But for idea presentation it's okay. I don't try to find perfect solution for Ray here. On picture you can see predicted movement, x-axis, on orange background on the right side, and line on the lighter background is real movement data. Predicted movement data, x-axis and y-axis, on drawing with Python turtle looks like this. Green line is history of Ray's life that was basis for prediction. Red line, real movement that predicted algorithm didn't know. And blue line is movement that was predicted well algorithm. It's ARIMA RMSE. This prediction is far from being perfect, but was run with default settings. Nonetheless, we can see that algorithm can easily predict tendency, direction, and change of position. It needs just some time to tune settings of algorithm, and with a bit more work, it would be easy to predict whole simple array's life. Seems that for such tasks as this one, best model is ARIMA, but I'm not a professional programmer, so I'm not sure. And playing with a new software or solutions that will satisfy me would take weeks, not hours. And as this is only for idea presentation, I will not try for now. Each delay in welcomes back progress means that many people will not be able to be recreated at all. Welcome back at this phase is about gathering data and not about recreating. For this we have to wait 100 years or more. But of course research on recreation possibilities will start immediately after data gathering centers are built. What is important in this Ray example? We have data, movie with part of Ray's life, and we can test it until our model is perfect and predicts movements of Ray. When model is ready and works 100%, we can recreate the robot Ray. We can print a body on 3D printer and make him move and on this movie. Of course, for Welcome Back project purposes, we'll not just record movies. Humans are multi-dimensional. Data will obtain its much more complex attitude and sophisticated tools. We need a lot of data for person's model training and the verification of the model. But this problem is solved, we know what data we need to recreate exact person in the future. As for details, I will keep it secret for some time, because I'm interested how competition will address this problem. More ideas, more profit for humanity. When we have data, we just secure it and wait until moment when artificial intelligence will be smarter than us arrive. From that moment, which is called technological singularity, growth of artificial intelligence and its potential will be exponential, so machines will be able to easily solve our recent problems, including problem with creating perfect model of given human based on those secure data. Where this model will be loaded is secondary issue and will depend on you. Maybe you wish your mind to be loaded into the machine, it will be sooner. Maybe into your recreated human body, into your body, it will be later. It's your choice. And there is one ethical problem which have to be solved in the future. As we will be testing if given model of you is perfect, we would have to switch off models that are not perfect. Some will last only milliseconds and will not be conscious. Those models near perfection will be tested longer, so we have to find a way to test model not as a whole, but as sets of particular components. I mean testing components without putting them together before we are sure that we have perfect person, perfect you, same as before. But this problem will be solved. What is interesting, even monkey can type model of any human. It's a bit strange, but logical. You probably have heard about infinite monkey theorem. The infinite monkey theorem states that a monkey hitting keys at random on a typewriter keyboard for an infinite amount of time will almost surely type a given text, such as complete works of William Shakespeare. Probability is extremely low, but technically it's not zero. Same with mind uploading. Monkey randomly can type all data of your brain. As conscious brain is more complex than Shakespeare's writing, monkey will need a lot more time. But still, probability is not zero. If monkey has an infinite amount of time, finally it will create perfect model of your brain ready for download. Good news is that we don't have to rely on random processes to create perfect copy. We can read your DNA and gather many information regarding you, your knowledge, behavior, and so on. So creating perfect model of you requires less random attitude and less time than metaphorical monkey with typewriter. Our method is not perfect as mind upload, so you can expect that some mirror memories will be lost. But good news is that your behavior, views, opinions based also on those past memories will be on its place, unaltered. We'll secure many kind of information from you, and often from people you know, from relatives, friends. But as people constantly are in touch with many information, some less important ones could be lost. We can also expect some effects similar to those caused by Heisenberg's uncertainty principle in physics. You can never simultaneously know the exact position and the exact speed of an object. I mean, the processes of collecting information from you will change a bit your behavior and mind, but influence will be negligible. In mind uploading, there also will be a problem related to the principle. As you proceed downward in size to atomic dimensions, it's no longer valid to consider a particle like a hard sphere, because the smaller the dimensions are, the more wave-like it becomes. So mind uploading scientists will also have to accept some approximation of values taken from neurons. When mind upload will be possible, we don't need welcome back data gathering anymore. But until that, during transition period, people will be able to secure their immortality and wait until machines will be smart enough to recreate them. After Singularity, acceleration of progress of technology will be fast and will recreate you. Keeping data secure is relatively simple. A few copies kept in a few secure places and refreshed periodically. Data will be kept in at least 3 countries offline to avoid potential dangers. Plan is to make centers of data collection and storage in North America, Asia and in Europe. When possible, also outside of Earth, in space. In each center there will be exact copy of data, constantly refreshed and protected against loss of smallest bit of information. Part of your fee will be invested in secure and conservative way, so in the moment that you are recreated, you are much wealthier too. If we need any money, of course. And we want to create a solution not for rich only. As you know, cryonics cost too much. So we will gather and store information about your mind and body, medical information and DNA. Then after the singularity arrives, this is the moment where artificial superintelligence will surpass our intelligence, we are going to recreate you. When I'm thinking about the moment that artificial intelligence will be able to recreate us, the world that came to my mind differs a bit from environment we know now. Humans will not exist in present forms, I suppose. We'll get rid of our bodies. Why to use them when we have a chance to upload our minds to any machine we want? We'll not stay here on Earth. We'll be traveling through other galaxies. Earth, I think, will be some kind of nature reserve. I think that after recreation many of us will be interested in keeping their bodies for a while. So it's probable that we'll not recreate all people in one moment. I thought we'll secure some land for future needs. Depending on situation, we start with 1,000 people or 1,000,000 people recreated. Then after we check how it works, we'll decide what to do next. Of course, people will have different options to choose from. In case that Earth is overpopulated, they can wait or be recreated, for example, on some space station or somewhere else. For obvious reason, I cannot predict the future. It's difficult to predict Bitcoin exchange rate tomorrow, so I will avoid to develop more futuristic scenarios here.
And a bit about my personal motivation. I never dreamed about immortality. I always realized the fact that I will die and was not interested in the topic. I never believed that immortality is possible. But someday, this idea I'm talking about just came to my mind. And I didn't consider it as something unusual, no. Just started to think about it, considered the chances and possibilities, and as it looked very well, I started to work on it. But after a few weeks, I realized that this idea is not so obvious. In fact, it's strange, immortality. So I tried to find out why it came to me.
and I'm not really sure until now. It looks like my brain just in intuitive way gave answer for my problem. And the problem was not mortality. Problem was limited speed of light dogma. You know, if the light is faster thing, we humans are practically locked on the Earth. We cannot travel far away. We cannot travel a lot inside our galaxy. We cannot travel between galaxies. For us, humans, it's kind of disaster because we like to explore. We have to explore. We have been exploring from the moment we find out how to make a fire. So, many people probably was thinking about how to lift that limit, the speed of light. But I'm not a scientist, nor a physicist. I'm not a genius, so I realized that only thing I can do is maybe a half a bit, and they die without seeing any results, without possibility to travel faster than light. Because I realized that the scientists will not solve this problem in the next 10, 50, 100 years. So, looks like my brain gave a solution to my problem just by connecting my dream, my problem, to job in machine learning environment. And I realized that this solution is not perfect, but it is workable and affordable and not for the rich only. So we can wait, stored securely as a data, until the moment that super artificial intelligence will be able to solve complex problems much better than us. And I wish you, of course, all that you live until the moment that immortality of your actual body and actual mind is possible. But if you're rather realistic person, you realize that it will not be possible soon, not in 10 years, not in 50 years. So you can consider this project I'm talking about as a good alternative. So please choose any perk to support this project, and thank you for watching, and see you after a short break.